Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video of me, Tom Dollimore. If you're new to this series and don't know who I am, I'm the current #1 ranked manager on the FPL Research Manager rankings, and this series is where you can follow me and my thoughts throughout this season. I hope you had a great Christmas and Santa brought you a nice green arrow for game week 18. Unfortunately, he didn't bring me one, but it wasn't too bad in the end. So let's jump in and have a look at how it went. So yeah, I did get a small red arrow in the end to 68k from 64k, which isn't too bad. It was also made slightly worse right at the end because Tarkowski lost a bonus point, which was a bit annoying. But yeah, it's a bit of a nothing game week, really, to be honest. So no damage done, but yeah, the transfers did a nice job, so it could have been a lot worse. So obviously we had to do something with Bruno Fernandes, so I ended up doing Bruno to Wirtz, and alongside that I then used some of the money to do Anderson to Tarkowski. Obviously that move was a bit of a risky one because Anderson had West Ham, which wasn't a bad fixture. But yeah, I just decided that Tarkowski against Burnley was the better fixture, and ultimately I think he's got slightly more points potential, so that combined I went for it, and yeah, he did score 3 more points, so that was nice. And so yeah, those transfers paid off, and some of the alternatives could have done a lot worse, and one of them could have done a lot better. But just running through the team, we got Raya with 2 points. Timber obviously didn't play, so there's a bit of a concern there. We got Rodon off the bench, which didn't go great either. He came off injured, which is another concern. Then we got Van Dijk, very disappointing with the 2 points yet again. Really starting to annoy me, so yeah, another one to think about there. Then we got O'Reilly with 1 point, which again is very disappointing. Yellow card. Tarkowski was on 9 points for most of the game week and then lost a bonus point right at the end. Feels a bit unfair, but it's what it is, we'll take it. Then moving into midfield, yeah, City players are all a bit disappointing this week, so Foden with the 2 points. Cunha, this was always going to be the fixture where he was not least likely to score any points, and that's what's happened, so it's fine, but the good fixtures are coming. And we've got Semenyo again with another goal. 3 weeks in a row that he's got me some points now, so that's brilliant. 9 points there. Then yeah, Wirtz, the 10 points on the transfer in. A lot of people were looking at me like I was crazy, but there's a few people that went for him, and ultimately it's paid off, and it's just that Wolves fixture really. Then forwards we've got Thiago with 5 points, which is nice as people started to sell him for Ekitike, and Haaland with the blank captain, but it doesn't really matter because everyone had him captained. Moving on to what we're going to do and how we're lining up for game week 19. So yeah, we've got obviously Raya in goal again. That's not going to change. Slightly disappointing last week. Dubravka got 11 points, but ultimately you're never going to start him. And that's going to happen occasionally, but yeah, so we've got Raya in goal. Then we got currently lined up with Timber. I do think he probably starts. It sounds like he missed out on the last game as a precaution, and there's been hints and some sort of indications that he's all right, and it was just a precaution. So hopefully, I'm going in with the mindset that he's likely to play this next one. So I've got him in the lineup. Then I've got Van Dijk, who I think is going to stay because we've got other problems to deal with and other players to target. But and it's the Leeds home fixture, which, I mean, Leeds have been quite impressive. It's still a fixture that you'd think is a good fixture for Liverpool defensively. But yeah, O'Reilly, Sunderland away. I still think his minutes are strong, so hopefully he can get some points this week. It's annoying that some of the other City defenders have become more nailed now, or as nailed, and they all seem to be doing the points. So it's slightly frustrating. Nothing to worry too much about, and we stick with him. Tarkowski, currently got him in the lineup. Obviously, last week was a bit of a risk when I brought him in of getting a yellow card, and that didn't happen. So we've still got him, which is nice for this week. Forest away, which isn't the perfect fixture, but he's currently in the lineup. Moving into midfield, we've got Foden against Sunderland away. Then Cunha, Wolves at home, that Wolves home fixture, and I've currently got him as captain. We'll see how it develops by the deadline, but as it stands, all all odds indications and the models indications, he's clear enough for me to be the captain. I know if you read into the detail of what the sort of current game state with United's not having Fernandes and potentially Mount now, and they didn't look great when Mount went off. Yeah, you can read into all that stuff, but it's hard to quantify. So I still always resort back to the odds and the models on captaincy choice unless it's really close, and then I start to bring those factors in if it's close. Then we got Szoboszlai back, which is nice. He was obviously suspended in the last week, so him against that Leeds home fixture, and it'll be good to see him play a whole game in some sort of midfield or attacking role rather than going to right back. Then we got Wirtz again in that Leeds home fixture, so I guess the only risk with him now is minutes as people start coming back from injury and suspension. But yeah, I think he's still good for this fixture. Then we've got up front, we got Thiago again against Tottenham at home. Still a hold on that fixture. Tottenham haven't been great defensively, so yeah, I think that's pretty good for this week still. And then we got Haaland, Sunderland away, which is the vice captain. And yeah, like I said, at the minute, I've kind of got. I'm not sure if I'm right here, but I feel like if there's going to be any sort of reduced minutes for the City guys, it's going to be in this fixture. So I've kind of cooked that in a bit. But even if I think about it with Haaland playing the full game, I still think Cunha with the odds is clear as captain. But we'll see how it develops. We'll see how the odds move towards the deadline. But at the moment, this is where I'm at. And to be honest, I had this planned as soon as we knew Bruno was injured. So Bruno would have been the captain this week, and yeah, now it's on Cunha. So then obviously first bench we've got Semenyo, second bench Rodon, who is not likely to play. So yeah, a bit thin on the bench this week. I was super comfortable with the role this week, and then we had the doubt over Timber, and I started to think about what I might do, and then I still got comfortable with the role if I thought Timber might not play, because then Semenyo comes in and I've got Rodon as the backup. Yeah, now Rodon's injured. That's my sort of bench backup in a busy schedule week out. So, or at least we think he's out, but it sounds like he's going to be out for a few weeks. So yeah, then I started thinking again, what can I do? And it's a difficult week to make any moves. It really is. So what have we got? We got Timber, who I think is going to play, but we've also got Gabriel coming back, who is one of the best assets in the game. So regardless of how many Arsenal defenders you want, you still want Gabriel at some point. So, but you can't buy him this week, or I don't feel you can buy him this week, because he's only come off the bench in the last game, and it's a short turnaround. And Arteta's already said that he's been rushed back. So I don't feel like this is the week you can buy him. So I can't do anything there. We've got Tarkowski could potentially get a yellow this week and be suspended for next week. So that's another thing that could affect moves made next week if I did anything this week. I'm sitting with 4 free transfers, so I've got transfers to do stuff. It's just there's a lot of unknowns out there where I don't know how when I learn more about those things, how it's going to change what I want to do down the road. And ultimately it's Gabriel I want. It's at the moment I want Palmer, but his minutes aren't picking up yet, or aren't consistently good. So until I see that, I don't know if I definitely want him. I probably want him, but it's hard to plan because it's such a big move to pencil in. I can't plan for that yet, so that's kind of up in the air, but I want more information on that. Then we've got Bruno Fernandes, probably want him back in 24, assuming the timeline for his injury is accurate. That's when I'm likely to want to pick him back up, because he's then got Fulham home, Tottenham home, West Ham away, so he comes back into some good fixtures. 22 he's got City, 23 he's got Arsenal. So even if he is back for them, not that bothered about having him. So that 24 week is definitely going to be the target for Bruno, and hands down definitely going to want him back as soon as he's fit. Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns, and the team looks okay if I assume Timber's going to play. Obviously we've got Semenyo, who will need to go after this week for 3 reasons. Reason one, he's got Arsenal. Reason 2, he could get yellow carded this game week and then be suspended for next week against Arsenal, which is even worse. And reason 3 is he might not even be playing for Bournemouth. And it sounds like it's most likely going to be Man City, and he definitely won't be getting instant good minutes there. So, and plus I've already got 3 City players, which means I'll have to get rid of 1. So he's got to go for game week 20 either way. So if I did roll this week to 5 transfers, so I've got 4 free transfers now. If I roll to 5 for next week, I've definitely got to use 1 on Semenyo, so I'm not going to burn 1. And ultimately, all of the moves that I could do this week, they don't really blow me away. Like, the options really are do Semenyo, something with Semenyo this week. So obviously at the moment I've got him first bench against Chelsea away, and it's a bit of a toss-up at the minute between him and Tarkowski, but at the moment I've got Tarkowski starting and Semenyo on the bench. But yeah, so options with Semenyo, I mean, I could do him to Sharda, which actually was one of my potential transfers for this week instead of Wirtz, so that would have been amazing. But obviously you can't catch them all, and Wirtz still scored, so not the end of the world. But yeah, we could do Semenyo to Sharda, but I don't know, after him getting the haul, that was kind of the best entry point was the week just gone. So it's an okay transfer, but it's not super exciting. And again, it comes down to all of that information that I would like to have, or I'd like to have more information for next week to kind of know which way I'm going to go to navigate getting Palmer or not getting Palmer, and Gabriel and Fernandez, and how I get to those. But there's too much unknowns this week, so I think we're likely to roll. We could obviously do Timber to Gabriel this week, but I think Timber's more likely to get better minutes than Gabriel, or just as likely, so that doesn't seem sensible. We could do Wirtz to Saka and Semenyo to Anderson. That's probably the single best, that's probably the most likely combination of moves that I would do this week, if anything. But again, with the Gabriel situation, I'm not sure I want Saka, because that would then mean I have to do Timber to Gabriel at some point, which I don't know. I don't know which way I want to go yet, and there's too many unknowns again. The team looks okay. The bench is a bit thin for a busy schedule week, but I think I'm going to roll and then reassess next week. Obviously I said we've got to do something with Semenyo next week, and we will, but it's what else do we do, and do I have enough information after this game week to start making decisions to head in a certain direction to navigate the moves I want to make down the line. Yeah, I think that's where I'm at, but we'll wait and see. We've still got more news to come this week. We'll see what that brings. We could do that Saka, Wirtz to Saka, but again with that, it seems like I bought Wirtz, he's scored, and he's got Leeds at home. It just feels like a bit of a pointless move. Like, why do that? It seems a bit over-engineering to me. So I think we just stick and just ride it out and get more information and roll. So that's my plan at the minute. Like I said, still Cunha captain, but we'll see how the odds change on that. And I think that's it from me for this week, and I hope you all have a great game week, and I will see you in the next video.